Good morning, everybody. Hey, first I want to address something. When you hear about tomorrow, September 23rd, end of the world, and all that other stuff, right? And it's not going to be the end of the world. I went from my Zondervan, one of the most renowned handbook study guys in the world. Over 3 million copies are, and we're talking about the end of the world and all that stuff tomorrow. And I'm going to get into more a little bit about preparedness here in a little bit. But I want to read exactly what it says about Revelations 12 here. This is the best way to explain it. A woman on a red dragon, the star-crowned woman clothed with the sun. One contrast to prostitute of 17. Verse 17 stands for God's chosen people from the first Messiah, and through him the church was born. The dragon, bent on destruction, is Satan himself. Verses 7 through 12 are a reminder that the struggle Christians are caught up in are part of a greater conflict. Ephesians 6 verses 11 and 12. The armor of God. The main message here, although Satan is strong and powerful and his attack is fierce, his time is short. He has been overpowered by Christ. He can be overcome by Christ's followers. He is destined for destruction, the church for triumph. God's people are at all times, everywhere under his sovereign protection. And what the thing is, all this stuff, and we know I've studied prophecies for years, and it's fascinating. But we can't get caught up in all that hype, all that BS, all that garbage about sensationalism. So don't quit your job, don't pull all your money out of the bank, don't sell your stocks, and don't go into a bunker. And just don't keep buying ammo. There's food. Pay your bills and be responsible to continue to do it. The thing is that there's a total misinterpretation of it when I read it to you exactly what Revelations 12 is. And people, there's a difference between satanic evil, but we also have what they call natural evil. Natural evil is earthquakes, death, car accidents, and things like that. I shouldn't say natural death. That's not really evil. But like hurricanes, car accidents, and things like that. There's natural things that just happen to us right? But that's just natural evil. The earthquakes we've seen, the hurricanes. I'm not saying it's not biblical. I'm not here to push religion onto anybody. But the thing is we got to be prepared as always. And we've talked about this for a lot of years. If anybody remembered about 5 years ago or something, I made videos on World War III, the outbreak, North Korea. All them videos, I know I was stupid, I did delete them videos, but if you do remember them, is everything that happened with North Korea and all that stuff, it is happening. And there's something else I want everybody to pay attention to is the Chinese. I don't trust them, not a bit. And North Korea had to get the technology and material to develop hydrogen bomb. Where did they get it? The North Koreans. China. This is a proxy war. China wants North Korea to go to war with the United States in order for us to use up our assets. But I just want you to know that. But the thing is that we have to be prepared for, look what happened in this Hurricane Harvey in Houston and Texas and Irma and, the Carolinas and Florida and all that. But I want everybody to know that. It's just, we got to be prepared for even things like that, where there's floods, you got stranded cars, cars that are totaled, they have grease, oil, transmission fluid, radiator fluid, gasoline, old buildings have arsenic in it, asbestos, but the thing is that and then there's sewage that contaminates the water, which makes entire areas and stuff like that very uninhabitable and not have any kind of, it's going to be hard to grow crops back in these places and getting things back together. But, we've also seen that there's homeless. People can't collect insurance checks if they don't have an address anymore, but they don't have clothes, underwear, undergarments, socks, shoes. They have nothing except what they have on, and that's what we talk about emergency preparedness, is packing up like we can. My wife has a Ford Expedition, I have a Ford Explorer. We would make sure we took First, we take our cars, our vehicles away, is just so we have vehicles to drive after a storm. But we also make sure that we got our, extra food, clothes, socks. I'm talking electronics. Take your computers, waterproof as much as that as we can, seal it up. There's a lot of polyurethane bags and stuff like that, but we need to seal this stuff up. And they got these things that you make for sandwiches, and it seals it with no air in it. You can do that with a computer, or at least a laptop or small tablets and stuff like that, but you need to keep stuff charged up. But keeping food, there's nothing wrong with, going an hour away or maybe 2 hours, but, Texas covered, the storm covered a lot of Texas, right? But the thing is, you might have to drive 3 or 4 hours, but if you drive a couple hours away and stuff, at least you get your vehicles closed, shoes, socks, you have safety, have lots of water because there's a big water demand, and make sure your vehicle is always full of gas. Have stuff to start a fire. Have stuff that you can make a tent with, tarps or just tents. Make sure that you can get a campground, and always keep $500, $1,000 or something on the side, outside of like the ATMs, is because if the electronics are down, you might not be able to use that. All right, but you also want to have some solar panels that you can, little things that these backpackers get and stuff like that, that you can hook up your cell phones and stuff. But the thing is making sure that you can get away with as much as you can. Your, birth certificates, marriage certificates, and stuff like that. But you got food, extra shoes, socks, clothes, and you can go to a tent or a campground, and spend a week and a half if you had to. But it's about safety, and that's what I'm talking about. Keeping as much stuff as you can. But you also need firearms because there's going to be looters. But I'm going to tell you, these insurance companies like that are out there right now, a lot of them insurance companies are not going to be able to pay out because there's just too much damage. $150 billion in agriculture just lost, not including houses, cars. People lost their jobs, and a lot of these companies are going to say, heck with it. Let's just take the paycheck, dissolve the company, move up north, whatever. And there's going to be many of them like that. There's going to be a huge unemployment crisis coming out of this, is people ain't going to be able to find jobs. But then again, they might be able to find jobs, whatever. There's always jobs out there where they're going to need people to clean up. But more importantly, I don't want anybody to panic, all right, because it's not funny. I live 1 hour north of Milwaukee. I don't expect where I live and stuff, we're not going to get hit with problems like this and stuff like that, like in Houston or Miami with looters. But then again, if we see infrastructure go down, it all has the same thing. When people are without food for 3 or 4 days or 2 days, we're going to see burglary, all that stuff. People breaking and entering. We're going to see looting, gangs, flash, attacks on 20 kids enter a gas station and they all run out at the same time. We're going to see people, policemen overwhelmed along with emergency services like hospitals and nurses. But the thing is, you always got to be prepared, especially with food, water, clothing. You need blankets, change of clothes. You need extra money just so you can take your stuff to the laundromat. Them are the small things. Make sure you get a full tank of gas. Make sure your vehicle's running. Make sure you get your oil always changed, because you don't know if a month from now or 2 months from now that little red light goes out in your truck or car that says you need an oil change and you're not going to have the money to do it. All right, keep a full tank of gas. And keep extra gas cans and stuff in your garage and stuff in them red containers, and make sure it's very sealed and it won't start on fire. But you need to be able to get from one place to the other, and always keep at any time. I keep usually 150 gallons of water or something like that, and I got to rotate that out a little bit extra. Yeah, with my household and my preparedness group. And you need teams, and you need people to work together and that have other ham radios, walkie-talkies, stuff like that. Just don't count on cell phones. Cell phone towers will go down and all that, but walkie-talkies and ham radios will work. Ham radios, even if their towers go down, it might be a little difficult. Even I have a Fango ham radio. But walkie-talkies are great, CBs. be able to communicate back and forth, and they're good for a couple miles, 2-3 miles, but it also depends upon if there's buildings or a mountain in between. But my point being is stay prepared, always prepared. Like I live in a 2-story house. If I had to take stuff, I would take it up to the 2nd story if I couldn't get out. But I would save as much as I could, including my books, my religious books, and all them important things. But if bugging out, I'd make sure I'd have my guns, I'd have food, I would have shampoo. Not that I need it, but my wife and daughters do, and my sons. But we need to be able to have plans, having a lot of fire starters. That's a big thing. Lots of stuff to start a fire. Fire sticks that you can get at Fleet Farm or some of these True Value places and stuff like that. Starting fire. Have a dozen extra lighters. Have Zippos. But you have to have redundancy. But the thing is, you need to have soap, shampoo, stuff like that. You need to have that stuff. But don't pay attention to all this stuff happening, what they're talking about tomorrow and stuff like that, about Revelations chapter 12. It does not mean that. The thing is, if you want it, you go back before the Antichrist comes and all that stuff. There has to be, and I'm going to say this straight out, there has to be World War III. Ezekiel 38 says it. Daniel 7 verse 24 says, "Out of this kingdom there are 10 kings shall arise, another shall rise after him. He shall be diverse from the first and subdue 3 kings." And that's from King James. Daniel 7 verse 24. And what it's talking about is that he's not going to come as a leader, as a military leader, so much like Julius Caesar or Caligula and stuff like that. But he's going to be coming more like Marcus Aurelius, more of a philosopher and more of a politician. But he can be also, he's going to have a religious, But the thing is that people need to study, and I know what I'm talking about. I don't want to get too much into biblical prophecy, is because we really don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow or the next day or next month. But always keep the essential: food, water, stuff to start fire. You need extra shelters. Have places planned out and maps. Have a lot of maps and have them laminated so if they get wet. You need extra flashlights. Get them crank flashlights. Get chem lights, are $1 each. They keep a tent or a room open for, or lit up for 12 hours. Keep lots of candles. Keep lanterns. You have to have redundancy. Just don't buy batteries and just a couple flashlights. I got like probably 50 candles. Well, God bless. Any questions, give me a call. All right, bye.